Hi guys, it's your Island Girl and I'm back with another reaction video for you today. And today I'm reacting to an American admits 7 things that Brits do better than Americans. And you know what? She's an American living in the UK. And Girl Gone London, this is where I'm getting this from. Don't forget to go over and show her some love because the link for this video will be in the description below. All right, so Girl Gone London, she said, look, 7 things, she's gonna admit it. 7 things that the Brits do way better than Americans. So we're going to get right into this one. So if you're new to my channel and it's the first time here, come on in, wrap back with a smile on your face and enjoy. To my regular schmeglers, day one, sweetie pie, sweetie poos, come on in, wrap back, put a smile on your face and enjoy. Let's get into this video. Here we go right about now.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Girl Gone London video. If you're new here, my name is Caitlin. I'm an American who's lived in the UK for almost 10 years, and today I'm finally admitting things that the Brits do better than the Americans. Okay, so in my last video, which I felt was pretty neutral and just pointing out the differences between the UK and the US, I got some comments of people saying, clearly you don't like the UK, you don't want to be here, and I get that a lot, and I think part of it comes down to people not understanding that I'm being lighthearted about how I'm reacting to things in the UK. So I'm just sharing my experiences as an American reacting to certain things. And so obviously that is going to come with some jokes. Sometimes I'm being serious. I do think a US road trip is more fun than a UK road trip. So if we disagree, we disagree. But for the most part, it's lighthearted. I don't think that either country is actually better than the other. I think it's a very gray area. And so I wanted to create these videos where I'm just going to list some of the things that I really feel like they do better here in the UK than in the US, just so everybody knows that I do not hate the UK. However, I am also going to do a video of things that the US does better than the UK, so we can argue when we get to that video. So the first thing, and I've done a whole video about this, is the NHS. The idea here that medical care is for all, regardless of your ability to pay, and is not a privilege, but a right, is 100% better than the state of affairs in the US, which works for people who do have the means to pay for healthcare, but does not work for a lot of people who fall in different areas. The idea here that you have a child and you walk out of the hospital without paying a bill is really astounding to a lot of Americans. And after moving here and living with the NHS and getting accustomed to that way of life, obviously paying for it in other areas and your taxes and things, but the idea that I don't have to worry about how much the ambulance is going to cost me is a 100% something that the UK does much better than the US. Okay.
Agree with her 100%. Let me not get into the NHS because I would gloat over what the UK does all day long. What the US does is madness, and it's messed up, and it's sad, and it's ridiculous, and it's I cannot see in the near future that they're going to change it because it's money driven. It's a money driven period. They don't care about you. The US don't really necessarily care about its people, its health, or any of that stuff. So let me breathe on that one. I am on board 100 with the UK on that.
Okay, the next thing is the cost of food in the supermarket / grocery store. So if you've ever traveled to the US as a Brit, you probably, if you stepped foot in a grocery store, would be shocked by the food prices.
Yep.
Here in the UK, food in the grocery store in particular is so much less expensive than in the US. Wow. Something that in the US would cost like $2 to $3 for like a loaf of bread or something would be like 50p to maybe a pound here. So when Americans are coming over and thinking about their budget for food in the UK, usually we spend a lot less than you would in the US. We spend about £200 per month on food for 2 people, and sometimes we do spend less than that. In the US, I really don't think that would get you a month's worth of food for 2 people just because of the prices. So in that way, I definitely think the UK is better than the US. Okay, the next thing on my
grocery, oh my word. She said 200 a month. That is 200 a week, or maybe a couple days for a family of two here in the US, depending on what they're eating or what they're buying. But it is crazy to know that you can spend $200 for a whole month worth of grocery. Not here. It ain't happening here. And I don't understand why, for such an amazing country, as they say, why the cost for food is so high and a lot of stuff are made here. You understand? So, in my eyes, that should at least cut down the cost. But unlike where I'm at in Alaska, the food price triples and flipple dipple because a lot of the things are shipped here. Let's continue. Yeah.
List may seem a little bit trivial, but for somebody who loves French fries / chips, yes, I know they're not the same thing, British people, I do understand. But as an American, we would call anything that is a fried potato a French fry. We wouldn't differentiate between, we don't have another word. We would just call it like thick cut French fries, maybe. Anyway, here in the UK, I feel like they pair French fries / chips with so many things that we wouldn't in the US, which I'm a total fan of. So for instance, what they would call a chip buddy, translated into American, would be a French fry sandwich. They've got thick cut French fries on a sandwich, and they eat it with ketchup or with salt, or someone told me the other day, like vinegar, and you literally have a whole sandwich and the filling are French fries. I mean, does it get better than that?
Wow.
No, it does not. Another thing
I keep hearing about your chip buddy. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait to try it. I honestly can't. I did say I think the last video I said I'm gonna do it. It's just that French fries here. I think I'm going to have to make my own French fry. I have to just cut my own potatoes and make it, because the French fries that I buy from the stores and from these restaurants ain't it, to be honest with you guys. So I'm going to try one. My mouth is watering the way that it looks a while ago.
I tend to pair fries with here that I've noticed is they will have pizza and fries as one meal. Pizza and chips, they would call it. That's not really a combo that we do in the US. We would maybe have, like, maybe you would have pizza and garlic bread. So we do get like the double carbs in there, but pizza and fries would just it's just seen as like
that's a weird combination.
But it's the best combination, because what could possibly be better than eating an entire meal of pizza and fries? So I feel like the US should really get on board with this. I'm not saying people don't do it. I'm just saying it's definitely not a popular combination that people automatically go to. And I really feel like this is one of the best things the UK has done for the world.
Wow.
Okay, the next thing that is much better in the UK than in the US is public transportation, or what they would call public transport for short. You can get around almost the whole of the UK by trains, boats, buses. You don't have to have a car. Obviously, in the more rural areas, it is definitely like much more convenient to have a car. Tons of people drive and not just rely on public transportation. But the point remains that if you lived in a lot of places in the States and you didn't have a car, you would have almost no options. Here in the UK, you can live in a lot of places without a car. And I'm not just talking about London. I'm not just talking about cities. You could live in a more suburban area and have plenty of buses that are going to connect you to your town and to surrounding towns that are relatively, on time, on a good schedule. In the US, I'm used to bus transportation. Where I'm from in Florida, basically non-existent. And if it is existent, it's just not something that people take. It's not necessarily reliable. Here, public transportation is often used, is popular, is reliable, and obviously it's easier to link a smaller country than all of America. But, it is what it is, and the UK wins for that one.
I gotta be on board with her on that when it comes on to public transportation. It is so hard. When I lived in Kentucky, where the city that I was in, there was no bus in that remote area. None. You have to have a car or you're paying taxi and you're paying an arm and a leg for the taxi because you know that clock is going. So you're gonna pay for it. So if you don't have a car, you're doomed. So when it comes down to that, UK takes the cake on that one, like she said, in total agreement. And even here, in certain areas, there's no buses. You literally have to have a car, or you carpool with somebody that has a car, or you're paying taxi. And in the cities, trains are not reliable. They're always delaying, and yeah. So that is awesome to hear, man.
The next thing that's better in the UK than in the US is the type of roofs that they have on their homes, only because in the US, we are used to needing to replace our roof like every 10 to 15 years, I think it is. Particularly the area where I'm from in Florida, this is a common way to do roofs. In the UK, you don't necessarily think about replacing your roof. No one's ever brought that up in like the house buying process of this roof will need to be replaced or anything like that. So I'm not entirely sure the differences between the roofs. I know here they have like much thicker like blocks that they use on the roof, whereas in the US we kind of use like these shingles, flimsy roof tiles. It could also be they're not exposed to the same amount of extreme weather as in the US. I know in Florida we have to contend with like hurricanes and the heat and things like that. It's a bit more mild here in the UK, so maybe that plays into it. But overall, your roof is not going to be like a huge expense that you have to shell out for as soon as you buy your house, and you don't really have to factor that into your budget. So it's a very specific thing, but it is something that's better here in the UK.
Gotta ask this one. Do you guys replace your roofs every 10 to 15 years? Because based on what she said, that does not seem to be the case. And whenever time you're buying a house, that's one of the main things that you look at when you're purchasing a house here in the US. Because I'm like, okay, how long has that roof been on? How long has it been replaced? If do I need to replace it anytime soon? Or can that come out of the purchasing of the house, the money that I'm paying for this house, if I'm going to have to replace the house in 2 years? I'm like, because that's a huge expense, like she said, here in the US, and it's a vital piece of information when buying a house here in the US. So let me know if you guys replace your roofing like how we do here, because that's crazy if you don't even have to consider that. That's amazing.
Okay, the next thing that's better in the UK is work-life balance. So in America, we definitely have a go-getter culture, which I do like in some ways, but when it comes to the work-life balance, it's not good whatsoever. None. We don't have federal required vacation time or holiday time, as they would say here in the UK. Lots of companies will have like an allocated number of sick days, and after you reach the end of your sick days, then you have to start using your vacation time, or you basically don't get paid. Here in the UK, most companies, like if you're sick, you're sick. Obviously, if it's an ongoing problem, they'll work with you, but you're not freaking out that you're going to use up all of your time. In fact, there is a rule, I believe, that if you are on holiday, if you're using holiday time and you get sick or ill, as they say here, because getting sick in the UK is like throwing up, but Americans say getting sick to mean getting ill. If you get ill during vacation time or holiday time, I'm pretty sure you can like claim back part of those holiday days and use your sick day and just take it as a sick day instead. But in general, there's not this hustle culture of you need to, like dedicate your entire life to your job. I think people here recognize that there is more to life than work. And I mean, obviously the cultures play into it and what we prioritize and what we see as important in life and important qualities to have as a person. But definitely in the UK, you're not always worried that you're going to lose your job because of something stupid. It's pretty difficult to actually fire somebody here after they've worked here for a long time. And you just have a better work-life balance overall in many areas. And
I gotta breathe on this one. Did you just say, well, I'm talking to like she's talking to me. You're going to answer me, but you can literally be on a vacation and get sick, and you can trade in your sick days into that vacation and get back a vacation time. Did I hear correctly? Or are my ears are fooling me? Guys, I give my hearts to you when it comes on to vacation time. I give my hearts to you when it comes on to work-life balance, when it comes down to the UK or Europe. I think it's that side of the world has it correctly. Because here, you work until you drop like a dog. You don't even get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Listen, I can go on and on with this, and it always gets me upset whenever time I talk about it. You get only so much sick days, and if you pass over that sick days, it goes into your holiday time. And if you go into your holiday time, you don't have no time to take rest or take time off from work because okay, this is my holiday period. That's I should take. You have to find somebody to sit in for you if you can turn up to work. You're worried that you're going to lose your job. And if you can't turn up, you have to go and get a doctor's note. And if you get that doctor's note, you got to pay that doctor to get that doctor's note. Whew. Listen, it is madness. It is ridiculous. And you have to sit there and worry and think about you're going to lose your job. It could be in there for 20 years. You can just lose your job just like that here in the US. It's messed up and it's sad and it's sick. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. But somebody said to me in the comment section on a video I did, they're like, if the people need to have more unions, and if they have more unions, and if the people are pushing back, then changes will come. But if people don't push back, there ain't going to be any changes. And I'm in total agreement with that. And it's messed up. That's how it is here. They prioritize making money over spending quality time with family, spending quality time or making sure that you're okay. As nope. Yeah.
The last difference I came up with, again, might seem more trivial, but it has to do with a UK plug. So a UK plug, 1 minute, I will show you.
Yes, the plug.
If you're an American, this is what a UK plug looks like. So it actually has this third bit. So if you can kind of see.
Yep.
1, 2, and 3. A US plug only has 2 plug-in things. Is that the official term? So plugs here tend to stay in the wall a lot better than in the US, where it can be a problem for them falling out if they're pretty loose or get knocked by something. A UK plug is like not falling out of whatever it's plugged into. And again, it's a small thing, but something that I have noticed and I do think is better in the UK than in the US. Okay, so that brings me to the end of my video. Definitely comment below and let me know your favorite part about the UK. I know not everyone will have other countries to compare with, so just tell me, what is it that you love?
Not gonna lie. Girl Gone London, love her content. Glad I'm watching it. No, as I said before, the plug. All your plugs are amazing. I don't have to worry about my kids pushing that plug in the wall and get hurt. You have a grounds, then you have, and then it's amazing. I did a video on that. I'll link it in here. But I'm telling you, from the NHS to work-life balance, your plug, your pairing fries with everything seems amazing. This is one of your thing, and it sounds like it's doable. It sounds weird, but it sounds amazing at the end of the day from the way she explained it. Transportation. So I guess you're winning all 7 points that she brought across. And listen, if I sit here, I'll get mad about not explaining, but thinking about certain stuff, that how it is here in the US. And you gotta give due to UK. You gotta give due. You guys are doing an amazing job as a people or as a nation. Because when the simple things, it may be simple to some people, but when we just do the comparison, I'm like, this is what happened when you're cared for as a people. That's how I see it. That's my 2 cents. It's your island girl, and I'm running out of here. Don't forget to go in the comment section. Tell me what you'd like me to react to next because it will be done. Come on in. Be good. Be safe. Be kind. Love each other. Let me know what you want me to check out next, like I said. And I'm running out of here. Wrap back, relax, and continue to enjoy. Bye.